Welcome to Everyday Lessons in the Bible. Today I was in Hosea Chapters 8 through 10. Now, God's anger here is burning against Israel. And remember, you've got the northern kingdom is Israel and the southern kingdom is Judah, because the 12 tribes, were split after King Solomon. And the two tribes, Judah and Benjamin, are with the southern kingdom, and all the rest of the tribes are with the northern kingdom. And so a lot of times when God is referring to Israel, he is referring to that northern kingdom because they were just wicked. All of their kings were wicked. It was like they just never got it together. And, they would sacrifice to the Lord, but their hearts were far from it. They would do the rituals, but they just didn't acknowledge who God is in their life. And they had their own kings, and they would make decisions about their own kings, instead of it being through a certain lineage. They would do what they wanted to do. They had their own idols, and that they would make from gold and silver, which, the gold and silver came from the Lord, but they would use what they were given and blessed with to honor something else other than God. They worship themselves for what they did and what they accomplished. I mean, people do that today. You think about it, when people work somewhere and they make up to a certain status on their job, or they make a certain amount of money, they brag about it, or they rub it in people's faces, or they gloat about it, or whatever. And God is like, I put you in that position, and you're there in that position for a reason. And so we have got to be able to recognize when God promotes us and why he's promoted us and why we are in that position that we are in, no matter what that position is. It can be the lowly of positions or the highest of position. It does not matter. God has placed you there for a reason. There is a purpose for you being there. And you have to remember that and ask the Lord, what is the purpose for me to be here, and help me to do it well? I think that's critical in our lives. And so Israel had gotten so immersed into the culture that they were living in. And that happens today. People get so comfortable with the way things are done in their particular culture, their community, their country. And they think that that's the only way, or that's the best way, or whatever, just put whatever you want in there. And so they were sacrificing to the Lord, but it wasn't coming from the heart. And he wants you. He wants your heart. He wants your life. You are the sacrifice. You are to lay your life down for the Lord, surrender it all to the Lord, and allow him to move in and through you in whatever it is that he has called you to do. But they, of course, were not doing that. They were, because of their sin, they were returning basically back to Egypt into bondage. They had forgotten all that God had done for them, what all he saw them through. And so they're just back in bondage again. And I think we do that. We can overcome something, but because of, the direction we've gone with it, or are taking our eyes off of the Lord, when we do that, it can put us back into bondage again. I know for me, there are things that I'm not proud of in my past, and things that I have so much guilt and shame for. And when somebody wants to bring that up or throw it in my face or whatever, it can start making me feel in bondage again to that thing. And then I have to rebuke it and work myself right back out of that, through prayer, through the word, and through my words that I speak, and take those shackles back off of me that somebody tried to put on me, right? People are really good at doing that. And so God was just really disgusted with everything that they were doing, the Israelites, that what they were doing. And so my thought was, it's kind of like, God is saying in here how much he loved watching them grow. And I was thinking, and then now he's so disgusted. And I was thinking about how, when you have children and they're babies and they're just so cuddly and fun, and you watch them, take their first step and do all their first things, and how exciting it is watching them grow. And then, but as they grow, they no longer listen to you, obey you. They no longer honor you. They go out on their own. They do everything opposite that you taught them. And it can bring a lot of pain to a parent when you see your children going a direction that you did not raise them to go. But you have to let them go, and you have to let them make those decisions for themselves, and pray that they come back, because the word of God says that they will come back. And so that's what I cling to. So I hope, that is something that you can cling to as well. Just knowing that God is with them. But this is what God is saying in here. And this is good for all of us to know that even though God was disgusted with them and he was angry with them and frustrated with them, he still loves them. He still wants what's best for them. But the more the Israelites prospered, the more wicked they became. And the reality is God will bring you to your knees at some point in time. He is going to get your attention one way or the other. I tell people, either you get to your knees or God will put you to your knees. And to me, that is getting down in surrender to the Lord. You can do it your own way in prayer and fully surrender your life to the Lord, or God will find a way to get your attention, because he loves you, not because he's trying to be cruel or mean to you. He loves you earnestly, and he wants a deep, connected relationship with you. And so God is, when he does that, he is saying enough is enough. He wants you back under his yoke so that he can show you the way. Under his shadow, he wants you back under his covering. And it is not to be cruel. It is not to be demanding. It's not to be, a dictator. It's because he loves you, and he knows the things in your life now. He knows your future, and he is trying to protect you and take care of you and show you the way, show you a prosperous, blessed, beautiful way. But we think we know best, and we end up in dark places, dark alleys, dark situations that leave us scared, trembling, fearful before you know it, right? So we need to start trusting God's way and stop trusting our own way and follow God, because he is the only way. Thank you for listening to Everyday Lessons in the Bible. I hope you have a blessed day. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.